First, the doubled pawn. A doubled pawn is a pawn structure where two pawns are on the same file. These types of pawns are usually considered bad since they can't defend each other, but some argue they can still control key squares around them. Second, the isolated pawn. An isolated pawn is a pawn with no neighboring pawns, which makes it hard to defend if attacked. Third, the doubled isolated pawn. This is exactly what it sounds like. Two pawns on the same file with no neighboring pawns. These are extremely weak and can easily be targeted by enemy pieces, so try to avoid them at all costs. Fourth, the passed pawn. A passed pawn has no enemy pawns on adjacent files. This allows it to push forward more easily. Fifth, the protected passed pawn. A protected passed pawn is a passed pawn that has another pawn protecting it. Sixth, the backward pawn. A backward pawn is behind its neighboring pawns, making it an easy target for enemy pieces. Seventh, the corner pawn. The corner pawn is on the edge of the board. These pawns are tricky to defend because enemy pieces must go to the edge, usually a passive and awkward square. Eighth, the decoy pawn. A decoy pawn is one you push as bait, sacrificing it to lure an enemy piece onto a bad square. Ninth, the pawn chain. Pawn chains are connected pawns in a diagonal line. 10th, the pawn majority. A pawn majority means you have more pawns on one side of the board than your opponent. Now that you're here, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. And as always, bye.